just to that question, I think when I was writing the book, I think despair was much bigger. But when the publishers came with the cover, they made hope much bigger. And I went to one of my very close friends, who's also, in a sense, a mentor. And he said, don't please make hope less, otherwise the book will not go anywhere. People don't want to see despair, people want to see hope. And so hope is a little bigger than despair, only marginally. Yeah, and I think that really captures my own sense right now, as well as when I finished compiling this book. So, friends, this is my first really non-academic book. I've written lots and lots of academic books which are dense and which are argumentative, and a lot of people have come back and told me that they've understood each sentence, but the whole paragraph has just gone over them. And so I've also written a book for students, which has been pretty well appreciated. But this is my first book for a general reader, for the educated reader in English, and I'm happy to inform you that it will also be soon available in Hindi and hopefully in other languages. So briefly, what is it that drove me to write this book? I thought that I was told by my daughters actually, that there is a massive conceptual muddle all around. And there is a cacophony of terms, but the meanings are all over the place. And original meanings of many terms are distorted, and that is vitiating the public discourse, and that's making it impossible for people to understand one another. And we need something on a kind of weekly, or daily or weekly or monthly basis to keep reminding us what these terms stand for. And we also know that the original meaning of many of the terms, those have been distorted. I mean, democracy, secularism, nationalism, freedom, justice, equality. These are terms whose purpose, which gives them their point and their meaning. Now their purpose is completely changed, and we don't recognize them for what they once stood for. And so that was one underlying motivation. But the other is what Christian mentioned, that is a sense that there is ethical, in the broadest possible sense of the term, including the moral, which is a subset of ethical. There is a directionlessness. We have lost a sense of the very distinction between right and wrong, good and bad. We do have a conception of the good, but it's a very poor conception. I mean, we are meant as evaluators, as both language animals, and ethical animals. We are supposed to not just have desires, but we reflect on our desires, and we distinguish which are worthy, which are not. And among all the worthy ones, we are supposed to identify which ones are more worthy than others, before we arrive at some kind of a judgment on how to lead our life, both as individuals and as members of communities, members of our nation. And if we lose that sense of discernment between the good and the bad and the right and the wrong, then we don't know what our direction is, and we lose that moral framework. And that's exactly one of the reasons why I thought that maybe, I can't say that I've taught all my life, so I could have stood and started teaching, but that's, as Christian again pointed out, that's not my job. But at least to lay on the table, what exactly, how to make those judgments. And that is why I thought it's very important to push people into making value judgments. I mean, there is on the one hand in our public discourse a feeling that all values are subjective. What is good for me is bad for you. What is bad for you is good for me, and it's power and economic interests that are really going to decide which values will prevail and which will be marginalized. I obviously don't believe in that. I think there is a way in which we can determine what is right and wrong, what is good and bad. I don't believe in value subjectivism, but I think that we are leading a very poor conception of the good life. But more importantly, we are pursuing that conception without any regard for others. So even if we have a very rich idea of how to lead a good life, I don't think we should pursue it by not just disregarding others, which is bad enough, but by actually actively violating others. And there is, since at least 1991, we can go into the reasons for this, I mean, why I chose this period. We've gone back to 1979, another very important phase in the global world. I think since then, there is a massive increase in what we might call individual and collective egoism. And the ethical space has shrunk, and our ethical selves have also shrunk very badly. There is a line from Javed, one of his poems, तेरा दिल तो इतना बड़ा है, इंसान का दिल तंग है क्यों? And he is an atheist, so when he says tera, it couldn't mean, the Almighty, although it's meant to be written like that, but actually it's...
I was paid to write that.
No, but I think इंसान का दिल potentially इतना बड़ा है, पर अब इतना तंग क्यों? कि इसके अपने दायरे से बाहर कुछ सोचता है. So I think that's what I felt, and I wanted to not get into the tutu meme of this political party, that political party. I wanted to sort of get away from all that, be a little more self-reflective, be a little more self-critical. Both of them are absolutely central. You can't be reflective without being self-critical, and I thought that's the way, and I think that's the tone that I have in the book. I hope the tone is one of not only being self-reflective, but also some humility. And I wrote this book to share these ideas and to help each other collectively think. I'm very happy that Bloomsbury actually supported this project. I'm also very happy that the IIC has given us this wonderful place to come together. I'm very, very pleased that we have such a fantastic panel. But most of all, I have to thank my daughters, my sons-in-law, and my lifelong partner, because they spurred me, along with the editors of The Hindu, where I wrote these pieces. I mean, they kept motivating me and to keep writing, till suddenly I've realized that I've written 100, and then I thought I should stop and let it, be the whole book. So thank you very much, all of you.